So Sedulo is a group of businesses, there's about 8 of us, and what we essentially do is grow companies. So we work with our clients on growth plans. As a result of that, we have everything you need along the way for a growing business, be it accountancy, corporate finance, banking, funding, wealth management, financial planning, private equity investment, whatever it is. So we work closely with our clients who in the main are growing businesses and need all that looking after them.
Damn, son, where'd you find those?
I think the difference is we're really focused on that fast growing market. Because we're effectively full service, so we do everything all under one roof. I think just the fact that we deal mainly with certain clients that are in that fast growth phase and have the ability to give them all the information on any area that they would need to get from sort of inception to selling out is slightly different from what our competitors would do. Well, I think Liverpool is, it's a prestigious award in the city, so everybody knows about it, everybody's heard about it. And as you're on your way up the ladder, or when you put in the amount of effort you need to put in nowadays to create a decent business, everybody needs at some point that feedback. Particular leaders. A lot of leaders, the people that don't get the feedback, they're constantly giving feedback down. You don't always get it. So I think it's important for, as I say, particularly leaders of businesses to get that credibility stamp or that feedback from the fellow peers in the community. So I think that one of the benefits is that the staff is massively important, I think, for the team. So I think, if you're a leader of a business, it's great to get some recognition. But also, if you're if you're part of the team, if you're working for that business, I think it does give everybody an uplift, gives everybody a confidence boost. And if you're on a journey, it kind of gives you that motivation, I guess, to keep doing more of the same. So I find that the biggest positivity or uplift in gaining these awards tends to be the message it sends to the team. And that kind of positivity and credibility stamp that you get. So we're just about to come to Liverpool, bringing our concept to Liverpool. So we're in Manchester, London, Leeds at the moment. Always wanted to do Liverpool. We will officially launch probably now January 2021. And the Livercool Awards, as I said before, they're a prestigious event. So why not start there? Yeah, so it's on exchange flags. We're just about to sign the lease today, actually. So it's on exchange flags, 8,000 square foot. We're going to have a Victorian style bar in there, fairly big, about 3,000 square foot bar. There's going to be a Liverpool versus Everton indoor sort of AstroTurf, fuzzball, dugout seating. Half a bit be blue, half a bit be red, so we're going to have a bit of fun with that. We've got a recording studio being put in there. Some other bits and bobs of office space, an American diner put in the place. And then we've got a rooftop terrace that overlooks the Mersey and the Liver building. And that's going to be an old school Victorian garden. So it's going to be an enhancement on what we've already got in the Manchester and Leeds area. So it's always been for us to consolidate that M62 corridor. It's weird because there isn't a large advisory firm that looks after both that Manchester, Leeds and Liverpool, and I've always wanted to do that. So Liverpool was huge to the consolidation of us, of being what I perceive as the only place to go to if you're a fast-growing business in the north of England. That's how I want Sedulo's brand to be positioned. So it's about getting to Liverpool, consolidate. And the other thing we're doing on top of that is we are actually becoming an investor. So we're creating our own investment fund so that not only do we capture and advise businesses in the north of England, but we also have the ability, if we want to invest in it. Yeah, I've been involved in downtown now, I think, for about 5 years, and I just met Frank. I got introduced to Frank through a client. The thing I like about downtown that's different to everybody else is there's a lot of awards out there, as we all know, in all the different cities. But downtown's is different in that it's sort of political and cultural roots seem to be a lot more. They seem to be a lot more. What's the word? They just seem to be deeper and they have a different concept, if you like, on lots of the other sort of creative and if you're not careful, fluffy awards. So I think there's a realness, a rawness, and obviously with the connections that Downtown have got and its members, I think it allows you to help create change in the communities that you're in a little bit more. So I think Downtown are approaching their awards in a different way than all the other awards businesses out there, and particularly what will obviously be seen as their competitors. Yeah, so we've got a podcast out, Taking Care of Business, and there was what I remember when I started and we signed a client for 50 quid a month, right? And it was like, and they're still with us today, by the way, but 50 quid a month. And I remember signing that client and being like, wow, 600 quid a year client. And then there was one day where, and it was about 2 years ago, we signed 3 clients that day, and all of them were renowned. There was a renowned business, there was somebody off the TV, and there was a sports brand. And I thought, you know what, our clients are so eclectic, and they've got so much stories and journeys to tell and talk about. Why don't we showcase all our clients or partners in a podcast? And so it's also a way of us showing who we act for and who our community base is, without sort of constantly going on about we act for these, we act for these, we act for them. We kind of let our podcast do the talking of who we're around and who we act for. So I think we went through 2020 with a positive attitude, and I've noticed through my client base there's been different types of clients. There's been ones that have just pushed through it. There've been ones that have gone on the back foot, and there's ones that are kind of stuck in the middle and you don't know which way to go. And that, of course, depends on industries. Some industries you've had to down tools. So we went through it with positivity. We've come out of it positive. I've always said there would be like an immediate halt in the economy, and then if we get it right, there'll be an immediate huge push forward and positive, and you'd end up with a V-shaped economy, if you like. The only thing I'll say to that is where we sit today, and we're currently at the end of August, I'm not sure our government is creating that positivity to get us out in a V-shaped curve right now. So we're talking today about should we be having masks in schools and all these kind of things. When you look at the data of deaths and hospitalisations, it doesn't quite correlate with the measures that are actually become more draconian rather than less. And I think that can ruin the consumer confidence, which ultimately will ruin our ability to bounce back quickly out of this recession. And that's my thoughts on it. I think we can bounce back out of it. There's 500 billion of money in the UK that didn't exist pre it, and people have to spend it. So if you give them the confidence to spend in retail and etc., that will filter its way down through the economy. But the government have got to be clear in their messaging to get us out of the position we've been put in. Because I do believe there needs to be a realism injected into it. I believe that this idea of even the way this crisis is being dealt with, I believe it's actually just being dealt with to score points, to keep votes. And I'm kind of sick of the political structure, if I'm honest with you. That's based on how do we maintain our position of votes in certain locations rather than what's best for people. Let's just do it. In the end, they'll see it's best for them and we'll get the vote. Is that all right?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want?
No, not at all, no.